You're watching the 2019-20 SCAC Basketball Media Days. Today we're taking a look at the Centenary College men's basketball program. The Gents coming off a 13-13 season a year ago, 10-6 in the SCAC, another trip to the SCAC tournament. The Gents will once again be led by head coach Chris Dorsey, along with senior guard Cedric Harris. Coach Cedric, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Coach, we'll get started with you. You enter your third season as the head coach there in Shreveport. Last year, you post the most conference wins since the 2014-15 season. What do you love about this time of the year with respect to the challenges of a new season, and how excited are you just to get back out on the court with your guys and playing basketball again?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks have been really good of practice. We got a new group in, just like we have the last couple of years, but you know, we have Cedric Harris as a senior leading the pack. We have two sophomores returning, Ty Prince and Kyle Mingo, who played a ton of minutes for us last year. So we still have a young team, but we have a ton of experience. And like I said, the last 2 weeks of practice have been very good, very intense, and we just got a good coachable group this year. So I'm looking forward to the season.
Cedric, Coach mentions obviously it's a young group, but you're one of the senior leaders on this team, which I'm sure you'll be leaned on as the year gets going. But you know, looking back to last season, the way it unfolded in those, you know, that final half of the year, 10-5 over your last 15 games, closing out as strong as you did. You know, does that help, you know, springboard this team into preseason camp? Was there a buzz at preseason this year when you end the season in kind of that strong manner that you did a year ago?
Yeah, I'm really excited for the season, and the ending of last season kind of gave the new guys like an idea of what we want to do from the beginning of this season, so I'm really excited to see where we go.
Coach, we talk about that youth. I guess what I want to ask is you have a big freshman class that comes in a season ago, and you look at the roster now, those freshmen and sophomores now, you know, combined to make 50 starts a season ago, including, as you mentioned, the newcomer of the year in Ty Prince. As a coach, what do you look for when young players have experience and now are kind of trying to take that next step, right? So you were able to get a lot of young guys time last year. Now that they have that experience as a staff, what do you look for in kind of in terms of taking that next step as basketball players?
Yeah, well, you know, one thing I've been emphasizing this year is just execution. You know, now that we have the experience and the guys have a feel for the conference, they know what to expect, and you know, they played a ton of minutes last year. So I'm just hoping to have our returning sophomores and the returning guys that played a year ago just to come off, you know, and execute on game days and have that leadership that we were kind of missing when they were freshmen last year. So with Cedric and those returning guys from a year ago, you know, we're just looking to execute and have a ton of leadership on game days.
Cedric, you come, you know, back for your senior season after your second straight All-SCAC second team honor. A season ago, you averaged 15.4 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, nearly playing 34 minutes a night. What does your offseason look like? What did this summer look like for you as you prepared for your senior year and continued to grow as a basketball player?
Well, this summer, obviously I spent a lot of hours in the gym, but I was working more of like my spiritual life, because at the beginning of the season, like I gave the whole season to God from the jump, and I'm very confident.
Coach, defensively, this team, you know, really limited opponents in that offensive end of the floor. The lone team in the SCAC to hold teams under 70 points per game, 66.2. That was best in the SCAC, as I mentioned, on just 41.8% shooting. How important is that defensive side of the ball for this team's success, and what, in your opinion, makes a good defensive basketball team?
Well, I think what makes us good defensively is just our intensity and our effort. You know, that's been an emphasis in the past 2 weeks as far as defense goes. And one thing that we still have to improve on is the communication. So we're getting better at all of those things. You know, so hopefully we can still be a good defensive team this year. But you know, the one thing I really hope that we can do better of is score the ball. So as you mentioned, we were one of the top defensive teams in the league last year, but you know, we had problems scoring. So it's a, you know, it's a double-edged sword, and we're looking to execute on both ends of the floor.
Cedric is one of the guards on this team and someone who handles the ball a lot. This group was a plus 2.15 in the turnover margin. That was second best in the SCAC. How important will that ball security be, not only in terms of helping you on that offensive side of the ball, but then continue to create turnovers defensively and continue to improve on that turnover margin? Is that something that you talk a lot about in practice, and what will be key for you guys this season?
Yeah, we talk about it like every day. We think that taking care of the ball will drastically increase our points scored, and coach just drills it, so we'll see how it goes.
Coaches, you've had a chance to sort of take inventory of what you've seen over the last couple of weeks in this, beginning of this new season. Have there been any surprises with these guys that kind of give you maybe extra confidence as you get prepared for this new year?
Yeah, the chemistry has been really good. I mean, from the first day of practice on October 15th, it felt like we've been playing together all year. So as a coach, that's really exciting to have that feeling that the chemistry and the camaraderie of our guys are they're locked in. So hopefully that can carry over into starting on November 12th at non-conference and then into conference play later in the year.
Finally, Cedric, to wrap things up with you, as you've had conversations with your teammates about some of the goals for this 2019-2020 Gents basketball season, what have those conversations looked like, and what are some of those goals as you prepare for a new year?
Well, mainly we've been talking about just shutting teams down and running. Like we run in practice, we plan on running in games, and if we just stick with our system, then we'll come out victorious.
And finally, Coach, to wrap things up with you, this season is successful if what plays out. You've had success these first 2 years. You've improved in terms of wins in the SCAC. You've had double-digit wins overall in your first 2 seasons. What are you looking for now in your third year as this team continues to make strides in the right direction?
Yeah, we really haven't talked much about winning games. It's more about winning the day. We just talked to the guys about getting better today than they were yesterday, and we take it one game at a time, one practice at a time. So I'm excited about the maturity that my guys are showing. So if they can continue to mature and keep working hard, I think the wins will take care of itself. But we're just focused on one day at a time.
Centenary College men's basketball program. Again, the Gents will head into the season under the guidance of head coach Chris Dorsey, along with senior guard Cedric Harris. Coach, Cedric, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.